different types of edible blood. This is fake. Music in the background is downstairs, even though it's really loud. But let's just get into the video. So the first one we'll be trying today, I'm gonna put it in this glass. I'm gonna move the other ones over. Is the one I like the best because I've only known how to do this one forever. Red Food Dye. Not sponsored. Also not sponsored by Hershey, but Hershey syrup and light corn syrup. I'm sorry you cannot see the cup, but this is it. So what I'm gonna do first, I had to sit down. This stuff does not taste the worst, but does not taste the best, but put a little bit of that. This is gonna be, if you're doing a big batch, or really any batch, 2 parts light corn, I use light corn syrup. It's only 2 parts light corn syrup, 1 part Hershey, or 1 part chocolate syrup. I use Hershey, and then a few drops of red, but I don't really use measurements. I need a spoon, hold on, or a toothpick or something. So the corn syrup makes it thick. The, chocolate syrup makes it darker. This is before I put the red into it. Now I'm gonna open my red. Hope it didn't go everywhere, and it did. Shocking not. So I put like a drop of it in there for my little thing. And I got great reviews because like last year at the haunted house, I made this. And since I used such a big drop, it's really, really dark. But here is it. I'm just gonna get some of it on the thingy. And this is what it looks like. It's drippable. It's tasty. So that's number 1. Number 1 we're gonna put off to the side. But as I was saying last year at the haunted house, we had a fake body. They put cake in it, and we had whipped cream on it to make it look like organs, and we put this over it to make it look like blood. And then when he put his hand in there and pulled it out, it looked like blood was going down his hand. And he would eat it because we had to make it look cool. So that was another fun thing. Next is a different one, but not too different. It is still canola oil. Corn syrup, not canola oil. I don't think canola oil would work personally, but that's just my thinking, even though I'm not supposed to think. Then you're gonna need some Hershey's powder. I need a spoon, hold on. Basically, I just grabbed like one of the smallest spoons, and I'm not even getting a lot. Like, this is all I have on the spoon. Put it in. It's supposed to work. This is just ones I found off the internet, except the one I normally use because I had to make something to eat. Because you gotta have edible blood. Because the blood I buy, you cannot eat. You're not supposed to eat at least. So this is supposed to do the same thing, but we'll find out. So, well, I knew we were gonna try some that wouldn't work. I think I added. Maybe this is working. So first it was not combining, but now it's like kind of working. Now I gotta add some red. It's still very liquidy because the only really liquid in there is the corn syrup. That's a lot of red. Bigger batches, truly. I don't think it really matters. So this is a lighter red. I'll show you right now. It's a very light red. Compares to the other one, it's super light. Next thing is to taste it. We're gonna do the swatch first. Like I said, it is very, very light. And you probably can't tell by this angle, but it's very, very light. It's not that runny. Tastes like Hershey's Cocoa, whatever that is. So the next one, a little bit different. It's corn syrup, and regular butter syrup. Yeah, we go with butter syrup. Pancake syrup. And literally the only reason my mom bought me this is for edible special effects. Edible blood. Now you're supposed to take some of this and pour it in there. Now, when I first poured the syrup in, it does not look like it's going to combine. I get worried, because if it doesn't combine, it's going to be a problem when I'm mixing. Oh, well, it combined. Now it did. Please don't copyright me, YouTube, because that's the background music, and that's not even me. That's my sister's boyfriend. So, first reaction, it's not dark, because it is syrup and corn syrup. So, I might have to add some black dye to make it look like. Let's just add a drop of red. Okay. Very translucent still. This is like, I don't even know what you would call this. I might even have some red, actually, to be honest, because this looks like candy. It really don't look like blood. Now, I try to get some more, even though it does not want to stick. So, this is just everything put together. Tastes pretty good. But I'm going to go add some black dye. I'll be right back. So, for purposes, because blood, and I really want this to work, because I think it'd be like almost the best tasting one. Got some black food dye. There we go. Not even a, oop, that was more than a drop. So, that's that. Well, hopefully it's not turn it black. Well, it's now very, very black. But, let's see it. No, I definitely added too much black, because now it is just black. But just imagine this being red. It's still very thin. But that's the last. And then the last one we have, that was the last one I just did. But I'm pretty sure if I really added more red, and probably not even more syrup or anything, but just red, might work. So the next one is just corn syrup as the syrup, as the consistency. The other two were pretty thick, to be honest. The powder got pretty light, to be honest. And now we're gonna add some blue dye. 1, 2. And it says the amount of blue dye you want to add red dye. So, 1, 2. So it's supposed to make dark colors. It's supposed to look like blood. Mine just created purple. That I expected. What happens if I add another red dot? So I'm pretty sure it's still purple. I can't tell because it's really dark in the container. But this is the color. It looks almost black. To be honest, it's not purple. It's not dripping that much. So, now I'm going to put all the swatches on my hand. So, we have the very trusted blood. This is in its container. So, we're going to put this at the top of my arm. So there's that one. Okay, that's number 1. Remind that. Now we have number 2, which was the syrup and powder. But it looks like it almost separated. Here we go. There's the coloring. So, it's really thick on the thingy though, on my toothpick. The next two, I think the coloring, well, the next one's obviously gonna be the coloring off for me because I messed it up. But this is the syrup. I don't want to tilt it too far. This is the syrup and corn syrup. But the coloration is gonna be really for me. But we'll go with the coloring I have now, but we will think of the coloring I had before. To be honest, it doesn't really stick to the toothpick. As much as I try to get as much on there, it will not. I think the two syrups are clashing because one's denser than the other. If we learned anything in science, more like if I ever learned anything in science, the two densities will not combine. So there is that one, the black, and now the just dye and corn syrup. That when I said it, let it sit there for like 2 seconds, it already got like a film on the top of it. It's cool though. It's purple. Now we can blame me for that, okay? So, but that they said do blue, 2 blue and 2 red. It should work. But mine turned out purple like I expected. So I'm gonna add some. Now we're gonna let it do itself. We're gonna have some drip factors. This really tells you something. For drip factor, for run factor, the number one, the one I trusted the most, had no drip effect. None at all. The syrup and cocoa powder had no drip effect at all either. Okay? Take that out of the photo. Now, the two syrups together had a good amount of drip factor. Okay? The one that worked the best was the only corn syrup and dye. That had the best drip factor of all. Now let's taste all these at once. So this is the number one. I have this taste. I know that tastes very well. I can decipher like what's in it. Next one, I do see some. It tastes like Hershey powder because it has like a different taste than this. But I could not tell you that there's corn syrup in that. Next one. Taste pancake syrup. Cannot take the corn syrup. Obviously, you can't taste dye. The last one. Discreet taste of corn syrup because obviously just corn syrup. Overall, my favorite one. If I didn't mess it up, we're gonna do like the best out of the one to go first to least. Best tasting would have to be either one with the Hershey syrup and the corn syrup, or 2 or 3 with the pancake syrup and the corn syrup. Best coloring. Now I messed up the coloring, so I can't even do this. But personally, if we just have this as the clear red it was, if we're gonna do darkest to like lightest, definitely would be, well, the worst coloring was the purple one, and I even added extra dye. Purple, but it dripped so well. That's what I'm kind of confused. I'm pretty sure if I added like 1 drop of blue and 3 of red, it might turn out better, but it's obviously gonna make a purple. It's gonna be a deep purple. The darkest, I think, was my all-time favorite, the corn syrup. I'm gonna say Hershey syrup. It's called Hershey syrup because I hate saying all of them together. The next, I'd go with the Hershey powder. And then the last one, all the syrup, the pancake syrup. And I'm not sponsored by anything, just to make your life easier. But the pancake syrup did have the lightest coloring. It had the faintest red in it, but I added black, too much black. So it didn't look the best. One I'd use personally, probably I would use the Hershey's because I'm a Hershey's fan. The Hershey syrup, actually, not any like the Hershey powder. But I could probably use the Hershey powder if I needed lighter blood, because darker blood indicates longer it's been there. So if I want like a fresh wound, I'd probably do the Hershey's powder and the pancake syrup together maybe, or like together in a wound but not eating together. Taste all except the fail with the dye, both dyes. Because that one just tastes like corn syrup. And it doesn't have the best taste. The one dye was really good. Oh, wait, did I already say this? Yeah, I did. Oh, well. But truly, if we had that, the one that was just the syrups, I thought this dark syrup, that you can tell it's dark, okay? I figured that would make it darker. No, it just made the red like lighter. I don't know what that means, but truly they are all good bloods. Anybody who made this combinations of all these, excellent job with your work. The only one I'd really reconsider is this one and the syrup one. You might want to say, like, add so much syrup to so much corn syrup, like regular pancake syrup to corn syrup. Truly, I've known the recipe for this one forever because I'm making small batches, not big batches like I normally do. Like, I made a good, decent-sized tub of, last year for the haunted house, I made a decent-sized tub of fake blood out of the Hershey syrup, corn syrup, and dye. Those were always the best. I even brought all of it with me so I could make it fresh, even though it does separate after time. I made it like the day before, and the corn syrup is denser than the Hershey syrup, so it went like this. This was at the bottom, so I really had to stir it up. But overall, it really worked well. I think these came out great. True, that's my true opinion, because I've been doing edible blood. I'm so sorry for the background noise. I feel like I have to scream at you. Very sorry. Bye-bye.